Hey, what's up? TJ, BHC Lead P here. I'm a pastor in Wyoming and I make videos about Bibles, the Bible, and tools and resources to help you grow in your understanding of who Christ is and in your walk with Him. Today, as we wrap up 2023, I find myself in a dilemma. What system do I go with next year? Now, I'm going to maintain the same type of system that I have this year, which is a 2 Bible system, one for reading and personal study, and one for preaching. And currently, to do that, I have the CSB verse by verse, wide column verse by verse, from the handcrafted collection. And this has been my read-through Bible. Now, I have used a large print thin line to do my read-through as well, but I kept coming back, and I do keep coming back to the wide margin verse by verse, and mainly because of the margins and note-taking ability. The problem with the large print thin line was the margin space. I like to take a lot of notes, i.e., so here's a study that we're doing in our church through John, and I like to take notes. I've recently, as I wrapped up my Bible read-through, which I do have a video coming out on that here probably next year, I've decided to go back through and dig into the Gospels specifically, and I like to take a lot of notes. I have a very specific highlighting system that actually has changed in recent weeks, and I love this Bible for that. So that's Bible 1, personal reading, study time. That one right here. Now that I have the home office setup that I have, that Bible works perfect. And then my preaching Bible is the CSB Schuyler Quintel. And I love this Bible. I love preaching from it. The font is, in fact, for Christmas Eve, here's my text. And you can see the sticky notes. And I'll kind of talk about how I prepare for sermons in a different video. But I underline and I don't note take as much. And the reason I'm going to go reading and preaching is because, one, I can have notes in. The other, I can just have underlined the text that I'm using, and specifically those verses that stick out to me within that text. And so it's distraction free, whereas this is where I dig in really, really deep. Now, to caveat what I'm saying, I'm not saying that I'm not going to use other Bibles, i.e. any type of study Bible, or even a large print thin line if I have to travel and speak. Like I have a large print ESV thin line up there with references that I will be taking to speak at a camp this year in 2024 specifically. I also have my CSB large print thin line and even an NASB, so I may take that to speak if I have to travel and I'm using a different translation than what I normally use. Or study Bibles for the info in that to study the text a little more. But these are the Bibles that I will use if not every day, every week. I.e., I don't use my preaching Bible every single day, but I do use it multiple times a week, if that makes sense. And these two, this is the duo that is on the chopping block. And I got to tell you, I love both of these Bibles. But I recently had a Bible come in for review and have started to use it that I have fallen in love with, and that is the CSB single column personal size in the genuine saddle leather, or saddle genuine leather. And I'll link that video up here on the review that I did of this Bible. I love this Bible. I think the layout is great. I think the look is great. I think the size is great. I think the readability is great. And I think the single column is a really cool and interesting layout. My whole life I've had mainly double column with center column references and that layout. So even having paragraph layout or verse by verse, I've had a couple of those. So even this with the layout with not having the references in the center is awesome, and just having the main portion of the text be biblical text. And same thing with this, to have the different in the verse by verse layout this specific way with references in the corner was also different. And so that's kind of what started my interest of Bibles and all that. But I have yet to use a single column unless it is my Life Counsel Study Bible. And I got to tell you, this personal size single column has kind of changed some of my thoughts. Now, I know, what would I use this one for? This would actually end up being my preaching Bible. And the reason is the margin space is not great. So it's the same issue. It would be the same issue as having my large print thin line, is the margins wouldn't be great. So this would be the preaching Bible. I am going to use it for Christmas Eve night, where I do my gospel presentation after some other cool things. I will, if you want to be part of or see what we did for that service, I will link Beacon Hills, which is the church that I pastor at. I'll link our thing right here. We're doing something different. I'm excited. So this would be the preaching Bible. And then my everyday study and go through would be the CSB Pastor's Bible. I know that sounds weird. It's the same layout as the personal size. The only difference is I have just under an inch of margin space for those notes. And I think that in some ways, for some areas, like in Matthew and in the Gospels that I'll be in this next year, it would be a small amount of space compared to what I'm used to. There is an inch of space in the margins of the CSB verse by verse, and there's under an inch in the normal paragraph style text format, but it's still enough margin space to work with for notes. And I could still use my highlighting system inside of this Bible. But the pagination between this layout and this layout are borderline identical until post Proverbs. After Proverbs, there's info in this Bible for pastors, how to do funerals and how to do that kind of stuff, which I had a minister's Bible from Holman way back in the day, and it was really helpful when I got my start. But I think it would be interesting to have a single column paragraph format Bible that I study from every day, and have the essentially same layout inside of the personal size that I would read from on Sundays and preach from. And in the same vein as that, makes taking this as travel very, very, very easy. So I'm going to ask you. So first I'm going to share my pros and cons real quick. The pros are, for the single column, it's a cool layout. It's something different going into a new year to try out, to work with. I think that this brown is beautiful. I love the spine hubs, and yet still love that I do have the freedom in this size to fold over if need be as I do my study and my reading. And then another pro is the similar pagination to the CSB Preacher's Bible, which is this would be in True Tone. This is Saddle Genuine Leather, and this is Deluxe True Tone, Deluxe Leather Soft, which is pretty just a leather-like, but similar pagination, the same layout throughout. It would be a consistent as I read it for my main study and as I read from at church for preaching, same pagination, same layout, which I think would be really cool. As well as I still have margin space in this one, and it's a pretty good looking duo, and it matches very well to each other. The other one, which is the verse by verse wide margin and the Schuyler Quintel, is that both of these are goatskin leather covers, which means that they're really soft, really durable. I've had this thing for almost 2 years, and just looking at the cover, you could not tell. And I have been in this Bible and torn this Bible up. This Bible has had the majority of my read through that I did, Genesis to Revelation, done inside of it. In fact, including Revelation and 1 John, 2 John, the Thessalonians, all of the Pauline epistles. I have been in this Bible and torn it up. Now, that's a pro and a con. The pro is when I flip through this Bible, it's encouraging to me to see the notes. The con of that is it's got a lot of notes in it, where with that single column I could start over. But I love this layout. I think it's a great layout. Plus, the margin space is ridiculous. I can have inside, outside margins, and top and bottom. It's a really good layout. It's really well put together. It's an amazing Bible. And then, the Quintel. I really can't tell you enough about how amazing I think the Quintel layout is. From the softness of the paper and the way that the font pops off the page really, really well, with the font that they decided on the paper that they decided, the look, the feel of this Bible is incredible. And this is a Bible that I dreamed of getting. And so now to have it, it kind of makes you want to continue to use it. Now, I will continue to use all of these Bibles as I do, but the main ones would be one of the two. So I'm going to ask you, do I go CSB verse by verse, wide margin with the Quintel as my two Bible system this year, or do I go the CSB Preacher's Bible with the personal size, single column layout? What do you guys think? I want your opinions. I want to hear. I think both are amazing layouts and amazing dual systems, if you will, two Bibles to use. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.